Hello, my sweet stitchers! So happy you're here! We'll continue making this beautiful doll. It's time to start making her outfit, and we'll begin with the white bloomers. Remember, it's important to keep your hands and tools very clean, because this color gets dirty very easily. If you prefer, you can wear latex gloves. Otherwise, you may need to wash this piece once it's finished. If you find that it's necessary, be sure to check the care instructions on the label of the yarn you're using, so you can wash it properly without damaging it. Let's get started!
Grab your yarn and a cup of tea. There's magic in the making, just wait and see. From a little stitch to a friendly face, we're finding joy in every space. Count your rows and check your yarn. A little sheep from a tiny farm. A magic ring and a steady hand. The cutest toys in all the land. Stitch by stitch, we're making friends. With pull yarn makes the fun never ends. Poke it up, pull it through. Make it amigurumi just for you. Soft and sweet, handmade with care. Pull yarn makes us always there.
We'll begin by making both leg openings of the garment exactly the same. Start with a foundation chain of 36, leaving a short yarn tail so you can weave it in later. Fold the foundation chain to begin working into the first stitch. First, make sure the chain is straight. Then, with the stitches of the chain facing you, begin in the first stitch. Work 36 single crochets into the 36 chains, joining to work in continuous rounds. Work into the top loops only, because we'll use the other loops later to make the edging. If you're missing a stitch at the end, which can happen quite often, simply work an increase, because you should have 36 stitches. Continue working in continuous rounds. Work 36 single crochets into these 36 stitches. This time, work in BLO, back loop only, meaning you'll work into the back loops of the stitches. Right here. This will create a different texture from the rest of the project, so the entire doll doesn't have the same look. It will also make the fabric much more flexible, which is ideal for this garment because it will gather and form soft folds that should remain soft and flexible. While working in blow, make sure to keep your stitches loose. Don't crochet too tightly. Make 2 identical pieces. Finish the first leg opening with an invisible finish, just as I explained in the previous videos. Leave a short yarn tail because we'll need it later to weave it in as we continue working. Leave the second piece on the hook because we'll continue working from there. We'll continue working in blow throughout. Take the finished piece and starting at any stitch, work 36 single crochets into the 36 stitches around its edge. When you reach the yarn tail from the invisible finish, weave it in as you work the single crochets. Then work 36 single crochets into the 36 stitches of the first leg opening, always working in BLO. Here we'll use the loop technique because of the distance between the stitch we need to work and the hook. Don't work this first stitch in BLO because we need it to be nice and tight. Pick up a loop from the next stitch, the one that's already been worked. Pick up a loop from the worked stitch on the other piece. And pick up a loop from the next stitch, the one that hasn't been worked yet. Pull through all 4 loops together, tightening them well so the gap closes. This is the first of the 36 stitches. Now continue working the remaining 35 stitches in BLO. We now have a new round of 72 stitches, 36 from each leg opening. From this point on, continue working in continuous rounds and in BLO, following this pattern. Whenever it's time to work a decrease, simply skip a stitch. Otherwise, the decrease would be visible and wouldn't look as nice. Still working in BLO, skip 1 stitch and continue with the pattern. This way, the texture remains consistent. We're now left with a round of 40 stitches. To finish, work 2 rounds of 40 single crochets. From this point on, we'll work normally again, going through both loops of each stitch. Finish with an invisible finish as well. Since we'll be adding an elastic band to gather the waist, weave the yarn tail in there so the waistband will hide it. Now we'll make the edging around the leg openings. Start with a slip knot on the hook, leaving a short yarn tail so you can weave it in later. You can begin in any stitch, just not at the starting stitch of the piece. I'll start on the opposite side. We'll be working into the free loops of the foundation chain. Begin with a slip stitch. Here's the sequence we'll repeat. In the next stitch, work 1/2 double crochet and 1 double crochet into the same stitch. In the next stitch, work them in reverse, 1 double crochet and 1/2 double crochet into the same stitch. Here, tighten your tension well so the hook can slide down easily. Then, work 1 slip stitch into the next stitch. That's the sequence we'll repeat every 3 stitches. Let's look at it one more time. 1/2 double crochet and 1 double crochet together. In the next stitch, 1 double crochet and 1/2 double crochet together. Tighten your tension. Then 1 slip stitch in the next stitch. That's how the edging begins to take shape. If you have 1 or 2 stitches left at the end, that's perfectly fine. Just finish with a slip stitch in the next stitch, even if it's already been worked. If you have 1 extra stitch, finish with slip stitches as well. These small adjustments won't be noticeable. Fasten off with a chain, then cut the yarn, leaving a fairly long yarn tail so you can weave it in later. Now we'll weave in all the yarn tails. Bring them up to the round of single crochets, because the waistband elastic will hide them there. Finish by arranging the stitches of the edging. Now we'll cut the pieces of elastic we'll need for this garment. First, measure around the leg opening without stretching the elastic. You'll need 2 identical pieces, 1 for each leg opening. Next, cut the piece for the waist. Measure around the color change between the tummy and the striped stockings. Making it just slightly larger than that measurement. Then, join the ends together. You can sew or glue them to form elastic loops. To make it easier to insert the elastic, turn the piece inside out. Without cutting the sewing thread from the elastic I just joined, place the elastic around the waist. Sew it in place, leaving the last round of stitches free. You can use pins to hold the elastic in position while you sew. Remember to tuck the yarn tails underneath the elastic. We'll need to keep the piece stretched so the elastic fits the shape of the waist. Do the same for the leg openings. This is how the finished piece looks once it's in place. Next, we'll make the doll's dress. But for that, we'll need to watch the next video. All right, my sweet stitchers, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!